I was watching a video earlier today. It was a white guy. He was giving a speech. He was talking about how the real foundation, the real hero story in America is the story of black people. We faced so many things, overcame so many things, and he took a trip to the African American Museum, and he started at the bottom, at the slavery, and worked his way. It was all a message. I'm trying to explain how we champion change, resist hypocrisy, evil. We're the forerunners of this, all of American history, and this is true. He went on to give great examples and black people who had done great things and fearless and fought and stood up through their resilience and through their courage were able to affect change, right? Positive change on the world. You know, it was a good speech. He gave a lot of insight. Overall, everything that he said was true. But yet again, the missing context, the real layer here that is not being said, the thing that it needs to be said the most. When you think about black people, when you think about our trials and tribulations, the things that we've overcome, when you think about our power, our inner strength, and our ability to resist and endure and ultimately affect change, there is a singular cause of this, right? And I'm gonna break the internet with this. For anyone who is skeptical, hear me, and anybody who can validate this, back me up, validate this, right? You see, black people are powerful and beautiful and strong and courageous, and we are able to adapt and endure, right? But it's all founded in our belief. Black people believe in God. Black people pray to God. Black people put all of their eggs in the God basket. When you have no options, when you have been deprived and stripped of everything, when you have nothing, and when your back is against the wall, you cannot defend yourself, there's only one thing you can do. That is rely on God. And so because of our history, because of our background, because of our origin, we have a real bonding connection with our Creator. And when you're close to God, nothing is impossible. You can endure anything. You can overcome everything. So I want to tell a story. Hopefully this will give some context to what's actually happening here, where the true power comes from and why so many are missing it. Okay, so here's the story. This story is of a great warrior, right? There was once a great warrior, and the society viewed him as some type of hero or superhero, but the warrior didn't view himself that way. The warrior heard the praise and he accepted the praise, but to him, he was just a child of God, and he was just trying his best to make his father proud, right? This great warrior led the society into and out of battle after battle, victory after victory after victory. Every single time the society faced a battle, all of the people, the civilians, they would be just ruined by fear and doubt, just running around, bumping into each other, spilling out their money and not protecting their children, just completely disrupted by this fear, right? And, you know, he would come, this warrior, he would come, he would comfort the people. He would give them hope, help them to feel protected. Like whenever conflict would knock on the society's door, the warriors would paralyzed in fear and doubt, no confidence in their ability to fight and protect themselves or their society. The great warrior would come to them and he would motivate and inspire them to rally the troops, right? They would go to battle. With the great warrior at the lead, yet again, the society came out victorious. They would celebrate. All of them were feeling confident, full of hope, felt the triumph. It spread across the whole society every single time they had a victory. But for some reason, every single time conflict knocked at the door, it was like it never happened. They would just cycle back to fear, right? Fear and doubt. The warrior led the society this way for several battles. Every single battle that the warrior engaged in, he was prepared. He would pray. He would pray to his father, pray, go to his father in solitude. He would read the Bible, anchor himself in faith. He would spend time in his word. He was highly engaged in the Bible and drowned himself in truth. This warrior actually was someone who was engaged in deep reflection as well. He would journal every day using his HeirFlow workbook, his HeirFlow system, right? Preparing himself for the battle. This warrior was anchored in his spirituality, and he thought everybody was doing the same thing. And over time, battle after battle, victory after victory, close calibration with God and through prayer and through truth and the word, reflection, just, re-examining things as they go, as they happen, right? And so one day as he's praying and he's reading his word and he's going through his deep reflection process, his HeirFlow warrior integration journaling system, as he's doing this deep reflection and he's doing this work and he's examining the pages of the past and he's writing the page of today, while he's reflecting, he's looking at the journal after years and years of battle, days and days, months and months of battle, he's looking back over it and he's writing about today's experience and he's thinking, and then he suddenly realizes something. He realizes a pattern. In that moment of realization, he was completely paralyzed with fear, like he had never been before. A fear that he doesn't usually carry. The sensation goes from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. Paralyzed in fear himself now. There's no conflict. He's not afraid of a conflict. He realized his father. He's been praying to his father and he's been giving all the credit to his father and he's been coming to his father. His father has been strengthening him. But just now, in this moment, he realized the others don't give the father credit. See, in that moment, he realized that the people had been giving him the credit for the battles, the victories, and they had overlooked his source. They overlooked his source of strength. They didn't give credit to the father. The others are not praying to the father or dependent on the father. They're not strengthened by the father. They didn't understand that he was strengthened by the father. They thought he was the one. What has he been doing this whole time? What have I been doing this whole time? I've been leading the battles. I've been championing the men and motivating the society, and all of their faith and belief is in me. In that moment, when he sensed that fear, he knew that the father had given him a new assignment. As the next conflict approached and the people cycled back to their fear, he knew he had to take a different approach. His assignment was not to comfort and reassure the people as they cycled back to fear and doubt. He encouraged the people to pray, and then he prayed with them. The other soldiers, they were cycling back to their fear and doubt, their lack of confidence. He didn't inspire or motivate them. He went to them and he encouraged them to pray, and then he prayed with them. This time, he put his relationship with the Father on display. As the soldiers and the people watched him drop to his knees and plead with his Father, give him peace and strength and mercy in the battle, the society all of a sudden realized there was something heavy and something very spiritual about what was going on with this great warrior. The night before the battle, there was a complete spiritual stillness in the society. Everyone felt it. What they didn't know is that the Father had visited them that night. So they woke up the next morning to the great warrior's surprise as they marched in the battle. Every soldier on the line was confident and ready and assured. They didn't have any fear or doubts. They weren't complaining or quivering. They weren't looking for an exit. They were ready. The warrior was suspicious. So the warrior found a spot to sneak off to and watch as the soldiers marched onward. To his surprise, they didn't even notice. They were filled with purpose and they were anchored in faith. They marched on into the battle without even realizing their leader had stepped to the side. So the great warrior found a path that led to a hilltop. The warrior climbed the path to the hilltop to watch the battle. As he watched the battle, he watched the men go out confidently, skilled, claim the victory for the society. As they were celebrating the victory and coming back, the great warrior decided to come down from the hill and meet them. The other soldiers realized that he had not battled with them. When they saw him and he approached them, their first instincts were to be upset. They accused him. They claimed that he betrayed them. The warrior almost lost it in outrage. After all of the years, after all of the battles that the warrior had carried them through on the strength of his own relationship with God, the moment that they had to rely on their own relationship with God, they were offended. Though the warrior was upset, he knew that this was something that is derived in ignorance. So he explained to the other soldiers, "You accuse me of betrayal. You accuse me of betrayal. Who's the one that's actually been betrayed? Not only have you betrayed me, your fearless leader, but you betrayed the Father and forgot who is your source, who strengthens you." Well, the soldiers looked around at each other in shame and confusion. The warrior proceeded to explain, "You never needed me to win a battle for you. We were always supposed to be doing this together. Our society should function for our Father, but instead, you have perverted the society to functioning only for you." Once the people were able to remember the Father, all of a sudden they were able to remember who they were. The soldier explained to them that it was the Father the whole time. Explained to them that his source of strength was the Father, and that every battle that they had ever won, every victory that had ever been claimed was actually coming from the Father. The Father gave me strength. The society learned to live in alignment with the Father. Society all developed their own relationship with the Father. They all became superhero-like, hero-like, like the original warrior who they had idolized and put on a pedestal. They all became that way. The society grew and developed and flourished and claimed a future for themselves through the Father, right? I tell you this story because in today's society, in the current climate, with the way humanity is evolving currently, there is a great fear and doubt of the outcome, great fear and doubt of safety and protection. When you see the evil and the corruption knocking at the door, it's easy for you to, be afraid. It's easy for you to turn and run and try to look for somebody or something to cling to. And a lot of people take that energy and run the wrong way with it. If you believe in anything that anybody can do on this earth, if you believe in the outcome or that people are pulling strings, they're going to be in control of your fate. Some event is going to be in control of your fate. What happens to you, what happens to, then you will never be like Black people. You'll never be as strong as Black people. You'll never be as connected as Black people. Because Black people aren't just brave and courageous. We believe. And you can see the results of what that looks like. You can look at the history. You can see what that looks like. So for anybody out there who's trying to find their way, anybody who sees Black people as a beacon of hope or strength, as a source of hope and strength, I'm going to be the one Black person that's going to point the finger to the truth. If anybody's looking for how Black people are so resilient, how Black people are so positive, so happy, so healthy, regardless, despite everything. If you want to see how Black people are so strong and so connected, if you want to see how Black people have so much faith, fire, and resilience and endurance, you want to understand that, you got to understand one thing. We believe, baby. We believe. It's not just a performance. It's not just a Sunday activity. You got Black people all over the world sitting in their corners, in their closets, in dark rooms, believing and praying and putting that out and talking, speaking. And then you got those that just perform it. Black, white, whatever, But real faith can't be faked. Real belief can't be performed. And if you're looking for which performance you need to be doing in order to be safe, There is none. You got to really feel like that. You got to really feel this. You got to really believe it. And if you really, really, really want to change how you feel and change your true intentions toward God, then you need to do the work. You need to build a relationship. You need to spend some time on it. And I got a way to help you with that. So check out HeirFlow and let me know what you think about the story.